the metal forces. It's not copyright if it's just being creative. Oh man, it's been a minute though. How you been? How's it going?
It's been good. I've just been living life, really, focused on school, getting to the VR raves and just other communities when I can.
That's awesome, dude. What's on your wrist? What's on your wrist there, huh?
It's a little mini me. It's a little screen, and it's when I tell people to hydrate. It's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Drink water. Drink water,
dude. Yeah, drink water.
Yeah.
All the time. We always want to drink water when we're always trying to be ready for a rave, and especially in the real life scene, because all of us need to hydrate and not fall on our face with our brand new headsets or our old headsets. But anyway, welcome to the show, dude. I hope you're doing well, and I'm ready for this. Are you ready for this? All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Sure am.
So you being a security person for VR chat, I'm pretty sure you've been here for a while and stuff. So what's your story like? What's the first thing that kind of came in mind of like you wanted to become? Was security your life too as well in the real life scene?
No, I wouldn't say security was like, so security happened for me IRL like about a year after doing it in VR. It's but what really got me to doing VR security kind of stuff was because it had an order structure for like these events. Like where I started was Void Club. They had a very structural, it's just the way I looked at it, you were the front man making sure people followed the rules. And I kind of saw myself in that position given like when I served in the military, being infantry is like, okay,
this guy was in the military. This guy was in the military. You got big man guns and yeah, let's go. That's sick, dude. That's awesome. How long did you serve in the military for?
About 2.5 years. I got medically discharged. I got injured during some pre-deployment training, but yeah. But it's all good. Yeah, I was in there. Got out like 2020. Yeah,
oh, man, that's awesome.
It was all right. It was an experience.
so let me ask you this: were you ever like not related, but were you ever into the music scene at all? Ever became a DJ or ever became something that you wanted to become in real life, or you just kind of like wanted to do security, or like what was it like?
Well, that's the thing. It was like when you talk about the rave scene, I never really looked into the rave. I heard about it when I was stationed in Hawaii. A lot of my friends would go to the raves, but I didn't because I personally didn't get caught up in any kind of trouble. Because in the military, if you do something bad and they find out, you're getting kicked out.
Right.
So
can't go party.
When I got into VR.
Bro. Can't go party.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
It wasn't that we couldn't go party. It's just certain things you had to be very careful and mindful of in the rave scene. But for me in VR in general, getting into the rave scene, I didn't start doing security for the rave scene yet. I think I spent about 6 or so months doing security for like places like Wood Club. For the short time being a long time, I guess.
Yeah.
And then at some point I wasn't even doing security. I was just having a night with my friends, and I found somebody that was DJing at an event. I had no idea these were a thing. And speaking of the DJ, the first VR chat DJ I heard or encountered was the one and only Badlands himself. Shout out Badlands.
Badlands, let's go, bro. Badlands,
shout out my boy.
Yeah, boy. Wow. He's the man. That's how I kind of knew both of you in VR. Is both of you were like in the same world of 7D while the Moo was playing, and it kind of gave a lot of unique figures of like who I met there and who I've been long-term friends with and still here to this day. It's pretty freaking dope, dude, and it's honestly really amazing. So before I get into the VR stuff, you want to talk about a little bit about like how you kind of got into the military, and then you got into like did you used to have a security job?
Well, so military-wise, I didn't have a security job itself. Because I was just basic infantry. So we would have like guard duty for like ammo sometimes out in the field, or we'd have to watch over the barracks and make sure stupid things didn't happen,
Area 51, got you. You were there.
Not as high speed and as much of a big deal, but nothing that crazy. So then the security side of IRL didn't come on till later. But being in VR, and why I mentioned military and security at the same time is because after VR and I started seeing security jobs, a lot of them look for, and they usually hire right off the bat if you have prior military service, especially being infantry. Because the thing is, when you're military, you have a security clearance basic enough to get you in.
You do. And
it makes the process easier. It's cheaper instead of hiring some civilian who hasn't had any kind of experience, and then they have to pay for all this stuff to make sure they're cleared. But
you hire people from the military.
I don't know.
It's kind of a better, simple an option. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah,
gets
for sure.
You in the door of the job too.
Yep, definitely. And that's like my trainers that trained me up to do armed security. They were prior service, and I think they had actually seen some combat. So it's like when you had military people joining in prior, they're really easy to like, it's basic like, hey, here's how you hold the firearm, shoot the target, make sure you score the right points, you know, pass the qualifications.
Wow.
They can skip over us kind of because they're like, yeah, we already know, you know, the basics. We're not going to beat you like a dead horse, you know, and tell you what you already know.
Right.
But yeah, I did armed security for the North, a shipyard. I almost got the wrong name or wrong job. It was a shipyard, and I did it for a little bit, for like a summer. Wasn't for me, and then I went back to college. So.
Oh man. Like, oh man, that's crazy, dude. Hey, at least you have a lot of that experience to really kind of show people about what you've done in the past and kind of get to know them as you know, like everybody has to kind of know someone or another, especially for people from the military, to whatever they've done in the past, you have a story to tell, and that's how you kind of grow your opportunities leading somewhere from a job to knowing someone in your life that like may get to know you. You know, it's awesome that you've done those things. It's freaking cool, you know. And so when you were in the military, how did you get, you said you got not deployed, you said you got out of the military?
Yeah, I got out. I was medically discharged. Yeah.
How did that happen?
Wow. Yeah. So we were doing sorry, my cord was like doing something weird. So we were doing, it's pre-deployment combat training. You go to a range and we had to do some kind of training, some mock training where it's a fake enemy that we have to fight, and it's some kind of test to make sure like, hey, if we send you overseas and you pass this test, we know you're somewhat capable, you can do the job if something happens. Yeah. And I basically I was in good old California, 29 Palms, Rocky Mountains, all that stuff.
How was that? Was that your first ever going to California?
No. I went there a couple times. Hated it. Not as bad as Yuma, Arizona, though.
It's like, oh yeah, you like California? No, bro. Bad. There's stuff, pollution in the air, and maybe the Rocky Mountains are good.
Not even that.
But like,
it's just being out there training wise. I never really got to.
Right.
Well, I went to Disneyland, but I digress. It's more so. But it was the most time I spent there was because of training.
Most definitely.
For deployment. And it was really hot, but then Yuma, Arizona was way hotter. That sucked.
Oh gosh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was just I was running up a hill or a mountain, and the rocks went from like these somewhat decently sized to just these big jagged all over the place rocks. Okay. And I misstepped somewhere. Ankle did a little funny turn, and I went forward. I'm just like,
you know, it cracked one of my leg bones. You know, just nothing big deal. You know, just snapped in half and just, you know, just
almost. I don't know how I didn't.
Oh man!
But then the next day they were like, hey, dude, you're still running it. And I was like, oh, but this time it was with the full gear on. You know, my rifle, ammo, all that stuff, flak and Kevlar, and I'm sitting there like just limping the whole time trying to get down and just run down the range. It was
fuck, dude.
I remember just running down a hill, and there was like this little like ditch way to jump into, and I just remember looking down at it, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna suck, because I jumped in and landed right on it, and I was just like, and I had to get up and start running.
Oh man,
it's just like time slowed down for me, you know. Yeah. I saw it, I felt the pain, and it was just increasing because it saw the hill, and it's like, you get ready because you're going down. It was brutal.
We all know that feeling because, you know, go on.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying we all know that feeling when you have something wrong with your leg or some kind of wrong with your arm, and you're trying to put a lot of pressure on it, and you're like, it's about to snap, dude. That thing's about to snap.
It was the worst part about it was the thing is I was the point man for my platoon. And the point man's supposed to be way ahead. You're supposed to run ahead and make sure you're on track. But you know, my 5'9" ass pardon my French.
Very good.
I had to.
That's good French.
I was. Yeah, French. Yeah. My platoon leader, he's like 6 foot, tall and all. Whatever the height he was after 6, I stopped counting. He. I have to be ahead of him. So my like 3 steps are equal to 1 of his steps while we're running, through uneven terrain. So I had to be in front of him the whole time. So I'm having to sit here and like just bite my tongue and like just try to limp faster than he can, out jog me. So it was
sucks,
very brutal. It was.
I bet.
Yeah, it sucked.
You're just like sucked. Galloping, like, come on, let's go.
Literally, I'm just like, come on, Stumpy, let's go. That was brutal.
Do you still feel it to this day of like those like those pressure moments?
Occasionally, yes. I still feel like it sometimes if I'm on my feet for too long. That's why sometimes in VR, like I had to kind of take a break or I have to stand on a mat because my left ankle will just start to shoot really bad pain over a while. And I ended up.
You never got surgery for it?
No, they were like they thought they were going to do surgery at first. They looked at it twice and they were like, yeah, if we do that, it's going to make it worse. So I was like, oh, awesome.
Sick.
Okay.
All right.
They gave me some kind of injections. Yeah, literally. They gave me some kind of injections and I told them like, what if this doesn't help? And they're like, well, if it doesn't help, then sorry. I got like 2 of them.
Wow.
And after that, yeah, that was good times. Good times.
This guy's a trooper, a storm troop. No, not a stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper. What the?
Wait. I thought a stormtrooper was. I thought stormtrooper was a Star Wars.
It is.
But you're not Star Wars. You're Halo.
I'm Halo. Thank you for noticing that just now.
What do you call those? What do you call those?
I think they call them Transformers. I don't know. I never really followed the lore of all the years I played Halos 1 through freaking Infinite. This guy. Master Chief.
No, I know that, but like, it was like, you all had oh my god, that's so funny.
Transformers?
That's so
you better keep that in.
I definitely hear my fucking. Oh my god! You hear my like teapot sending ass just going crazy with the stormtroopers and the Well, it's because I'm so used to like lower and higher ranks of like if I see someone in battle that's going from like galaxies and stuff, I'm guessing there would be like rankings for Halo of like there would be the lower ranks of like the recruits to like Master Chief level, but they never gave a name. So I don't know.
Well, I mean there are ranks in it, but it's kind of
we'll just say Transformers. Okay, next one. I have to get it out of my system. That was amazing. I mean, I sounded like a teapot.
Never playing Halo with you.
I'm gonna. Well, actually, you know what? You know what's funny? I was actually gonna ask that too. I totally forgot to ask this.
What's up?
I feel like a lot of people from the military, and I don't know why. I've met a lot of people from the military use Halo. Spartans. It's Spartans. You did it. Halo Spartans as the characters from the military because they feel more like, well, I know there's way more to it, but every time I see a person like that, it's always from somebody from the military or someone that like feels like, I don't know. Do you have any comment for that or no?
I've actually ran into a couple guys that are, they're in a Halo, they're in a Spartan avatar. But funny enough, well, funny not funny, but in a way, I went to a Spartan meetup in VR last Friday. What? And this one guy, he's currently in the army right now, but he's getting medically separated as well for some issue. And he was just chilling in VR. He's had his own Spartan, but he was a really cool dude. I can't remember his name, but I think he was kind of new to the community. But yeah, I've definitely had a few encounters where military guys are in Spartans.
That's cool. That's cool. That is something to kind of understand is like people use that to kind of cover up a lot of things about themselves or maybe to get in a character that they feel like they should be in, and having that kind of character makes you feel either empowered or something to feel like you should be in this because you want to be in this for some reason. Everyone has a different character and all of us can see that. Everyone has a different story.
Everyone has a reason. Well, mine was very simple, honestly. When I first got into VR chat, I wasn't always the blue Spartan boy that people know me of. I was actually, I committed the greatest sin of having an e-boy avatar. I wasn't a mirror dweller,
man.
though.
I think that's everyone.
Yeah, no, it's, I'm joking. All those e-boys that might have gotten offended, it was a joke.
It was a sacred moment, bro. This is VR. You're going to VR church now, dude. You're not going to our meetings anymore, bro. This is not eligible. Now you're a transformer.
But funny enough, I was wearing like
don't get offended. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
It's a joke. I'm so sorry. But I think it was like the Rockshaw avatars from the very beginning that I used to wear. But then I remember going to the same club that Badlands was DJing for. I met somebody in a color shifting avatar. You had two different hue shifters for two different colors on it. And I saw that and I was like,
gosh.
The guy who actually made that avatar, it was a public one. He did this for me.
What? That's cool.
Yeah. Shout out Fi, my boy.
Shout out Fi.
But
thanks, Fi.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the Spartan, I was like, I know what I want to wear. I love Halo. I want that. And I had that for a long time. Then I had another version that was free, was a little bit taller, had the same kind of color scheme like this. Then all my homies were like, you need to have your own version of that.
Most definitely.
For about 2 years up until now, I wore that Halo 4 avatar, and now I'm Halo Infinite.
Oh man,
the game still kind of sucks, but the avatar looks good. I'm not a big fan of
Infinite, honestly, the avatar looks great. It does give a lot of like uniqueness, especially when you see surf everywhere. If you ever get in that color, it's like, oh, it's surf. No, it's actually another guy. But hey, look, it's surf.
I had somebody wear a similar avatar, and they confuse me, or they just joke on each other for being the same
wait a
thing.
minute, you're me? No, I'm you. You're the Spider-Man moment. Just. So how did it start when you got into VR chat? How did you get in this game? Where'd you hear it from?
Also, an old friend of mine, he had the original black Oculus, and he would, every time I'd go to visit him, we would go down. He had like this whole basement. We would go and play. He would play his PC or whatever. He actually helped build my PC as well.
Woo!
We always played,
Beat Saber.
What's that one? Beat Saber, yeah. You can tell I'm flailing in my hand. I can't figure it out. Beat Saber, and sometimes we would hop in VR chat. And then, I finally sat down back in 2020 when I came home. I was like, you know what? I want to get VR. So I contacted my brother, and I asked him, I was like, hey, what's the best, VR headset right now, current? And he was like, yo, Steam, Valve Index. Get it if you can. And I did. And I was half body for about a month or two.
That you got it?
I think it was that $1,000 deal about 2 years ago, because it was the two base stations, the headset. That's all they had. It's at the time because when the Rona was building up and stuff was going scarce, then prices were jumping. Everyone was either buying the Index itself or the controllers, and the only pack left at the time was the Index with the controllers and the two base stations.
Oh yeah, it was a great combo,
which is basically what you need.
Yeah,
it's what you needed though. If you just bought the Index and the two controllers, it's like, okay, well.
And now the Index itself is like 1,000 without the combo, right?
Is it really? I don't know. I think it's still like 500 or something. I don't know. I haven't checked. I've had my Index for over 2 years now. But yeah, I got into that, and like I said, I hopped around a few worlds, being half body for a bit, saw what people can do with full body, like dancing and stuff, and I was like, I want that. I don't want to keep looking at my half body self. I don't dance, but I just thought it would look cool. And I got the original 2.0s for a bit, and then I upgraded to the 3.0s, and I've just been rocking it ever since.
That's awesome.
I've been digging it. Yeah,
that is sick, dude. Yeah, I still rock my 2.0s with my base 1.0 base stations. Pretty fly. I feel pretty good about it.
Oh yeah, I got the 2.0 base stations. That's what came with them. Yeah. Oh, we do need to talk about security wise. We need to get back onto the theme.
Security. Yeah, we should. We should get
bunny trailing.
I was gonna come back at you like, it don't matter. It don't matter if you have 2.0. I have 1.0.
I know.
Okay. So let's see. So
but
that's where I was going to come from is like, what I was going to come to is like the game stuff. And then you got into, how'd you get in the music scene, which is Void Club. And then you got into Badlands. And then like you got into security. And then that's where you kind of sum it up to where like security is kind of revolving around that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So you already talked about like your 2.0s and then continue on like, so as you got
do
the
you
base
need
stations,
it to be 30 minutes? Sorry. I'm sorry. Do you need it to be 30 minutes? Because I've got time to kill. Like I'm vibing.
No, I'm chilling. I just I try to leave it like around 45 minutes. That way like I can kind of sum up everything so I don't have to make it an actual hour. But yeah, like if we go that, it's because we did a lot of bloopers and I thought it was funny. So we have like a good bit. So yeah, give it like 15 minutes. So yeah, let's see. So when you got all those base stations and stuff, yeah. So just continue from where the base stations and stuff, and that's how I got into VR chat. I mean, I kind of saw everyone.
I got you.
In Void Club. Go for it.
But yeah, so yeah, when I saw people, funny enough, I found out about Void Club while I was still at Body, and I got invited to one of their events. I met one of the dance captains at the time, and I saw what people were doing. I thought it just looked really cool. Candy. It's Candy. That's who I.
Candy.
That's who it was. Her name was
Candy.
Do you know
a person named Trasco?
Traxo?
Traxo.
Yeah, I love Traxo.
Yeah, bro. Traxo's amazing.
They're like the Stan Blue like Void Club dancer. Yeah. They're really dope. When I used to like staff there, like they'd come up and be super friendly, and they would vibe. They would always like just see how I'm doing. We would like pick fun at each other.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love Traxo. Haven't seen him in like a long time, but
yeah,
it's always a good time when I see him.
I think. Yeah, it's awesome. So how long were you in Void Club for?
Okay, after I got the full body and I had the Spartan, I was doing security for them for maybe 6 months or more. And then I found a few other clubs, but I found those a little bit later after the rave scene. But that's how like after Void Club, I would go world hop and found like chill community world areas where you could just find people, and that's where I met one of like my very few like first best friends, being their name is Oni. We used to go by Oni Kumo was the whole name. I still talk to them. Really love Oni to death. Like day one best friend I've met. So
most definitely
they brought me to what?
I said most definitely.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my hearing's kind of messed up sometimes. Okay. So Oni brought me to this one event. We have a friend, it was Lavi that got us in. Shout out Lavi if you ever pay attention to this. Love Lavi.
Lavi or Lavi or Lavi?
It's Lavi or Lavi. I'll call him Lavi.
Okay.
You know who we're talking about, right? Do you know Lavi?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Let's say Sinful Sunday. Sinful Sunday.
Yeah. Sinful Sunday. Yep. That was it. Yep. I won't elaborate any more on that. Those of you who know, you know. But yeah, Lavi got us in.
Yes.
And Badlands was DJing.
Let's go.
But it was during the time back in 2021. The issue was, the video player wouldn't work for everybody. It would be the white screen, and even if you reloaded the world, if it still didn't work, you couldn't hear anything. So you had to pull up the stream. That's when the host of the night came up, and they were like, "Hey, if you can't see the stream, pull their name up on Twitch. It's Badlands. They're throwing a killer set like right now." And I was kind of like fed up that night because I was having the controller drift issue for both of my controllers, and it was brutal. And I was like so defeated. I was sitting in my gamer chair like all upset, and I had to plug my controllers in with these like stupidly long cables because otherwise they wouldn't stop drifting. And as soon as I pulled his link up and I put the stream on, this is how I found out what Rhythm was. It opened right on the drop of some like banger song, and for some reason it felt natural for me to just get up and start headbanging. Like I was just going in, and I was like, what is this music? I need more of it. And so I went to go talk to Badlands afterwards. He was like, "Oh, dude, we got this community called Seventh Dimension. You want in, bro?" And so he brought me in, brought Oni in, and I got to meet all the staff there at the time.
That's sick.
And it's just been really history ever since. Like they've been my family since I joined the community. And how I brought security into the rave scene with them was at first we didn't want to do all that, They were like, "Hey, we're not going to enforce, poor or better kind of avatars or green," because in the dance community side, people knew the rules and respected it. So it was fairly easy to run that kind of job.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was super chill. But on the rave scene, it was kind of like a new thing when we were doing the whole optimize, because we didn't start doing it yet until we had one event. It popped off on a Monday. It was just a random night.
Ooh.
And for some reason, everyone and their mother was on VR chat, and they saw a vibe was going down at 7th Dimension, 70.1 World, and it
Oh
packed
my
out
god.
out of nowhere.
Yes.
And
Out of
every kind
nowhere.
of very out of nowhere, and every kind of unoptimized avatar came through, and we were all like, what the heck? I think I barely even got like 10 frames to 15.
Wow.
I mean, I think I remember one time even freaking like what, two Tony Dasconi came by at some point too, if I can remember correctly.
Oh man,
But,
it was crazy how back then it was like, now they didn't care because it was just a club that was not saturated as it was. They didn't care about the frames. They really didn't, because the PC would keep going. But now it's like, shit.
Well, the thing is what people are able to do now, let alone the texture memory, material slots.
Right.
I remember one security event I did one for, some person had like over 500,000 polys and 100 out of 10 materials. I don't remember the rest, but as soon as I read that, I was like, my friend was like, I actually am interested. I want to know how they did that. I'm going to go talk to them. But
you talk to them, and it's like, bye, buddy.
Change, though. No, he didn't. We made sure they changed, but the thing was, when it's just when that event packed out, I told him, like, hey man, this is why we probably should start doing optimized avies now, because we all experienced it. We were dying. They're like, yeah, you know what, you're right. So we're not going to do green. We're not going to do medium, because we need to create a leeway, and that's when we started doing poor.
Right.
For the most part. And it was a rough patch in the beginning, because a lot of people didn't want to change. That it was a new concept, it seemed like, because it was so shocking to me. Some people would come through and I would ask them to change and be polite. And to other security staff out there, if you are doing that, be polite about it. Don't be one of those guys that yells at someone right away and then kicks them without giving them a chance to, defend themselves and change. I've had that happen before to some other person that came to our event.
Definitely
they came from another event that did that to them, but maybe back on track now.
As they think you're screaming to them across the way of the whole room. Hey,
so they think they can hear you in VR.
Yeah, they can hear you, dude. People are like that, bro. It's so immersive that people will be like literally yelling at you, and just be like, and just like, nope, can't do that.
your wall can hear you, but they can't. Sorry.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it was just like when it started happening, some people were very not accepting at first, to be light about it, because they were like, I don't want to change. Why do I have to do that? That's a stupid rule. And I'm like, well, given the situation and performance for other people, yada yada yada. We all know the whole spiel by now,
right?
But I remember one instance that really ticked me off was one of the other owners of 7th Dimension, Deagle. Shout out Deagle, that's my boy as well.
Ooh, Deagle, let's go.
Daddy Dig, that's my boy. But
Big Deagle.
So this guy that joined the event, who was, I believe, friends with him at the time, he came up in an unoptimized avatar, and me being how I am, I was like, hey man, we're sorry, but we're enforcing better avatars for performance. Would you mind changing? And he just, with like all elongated the F word, just went F no, like full on just said it. And I was just I looked at him and I was like, I froze, and I looked at Deagle and I was like, you better get your mans before I go off. I didn't do anything wrong to deserve that. I was like, what? Get him out, or he doesn't change. And he ended up changing eventually. But yeah, I was like, I was so taken aback by it, because he just off the rip was just like, heck no. And I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Wow, bro.
Why?
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Literally had to change just one avatar. That's it.
Yeah.
People literally personalize that to their own. People want that. And they're like, I had this one little charm on my freaking earring. You better notice it, because this freaking thing was the best thing ever. And they're just like, bro, you gotta change one thing of your avatar.
Yeah, dude. It's like, oh, that 8K textured small little ring you got there, that's really cool. I enjoy using 10 frames because
I love that round circle that's on your finger. It's great. Maybe in the future,
of like the one little bolt that you see going around, like the
yeah, honestly. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll, I don't know, maybe I'll be the first to say this, is that maybe they'll come up with a feature where they'll use assets as like procedural assets to generate as like, you can see it as like, it's not in your avatar, but you could see it as like as an asset. Like anything closed off would be like unusable. So it's all like a cloud system. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't do Abby stuff. I've had people do my stuff for me, and I learn off the fly of like what's not good to have on an Abby. So yeah,
same. I mean, I've done my own stuff, but I'm not intelligent of a lot of that stuff anyway. I just kind of slap on things that work. You know, that's dude. Oh my gosh, it's so like everybody from like 7D, bro. It's all changed, man. It's crazy. Like especially when the incident of like, oh man, what's his name? Chris DM. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is wow. Like I remember one night of like he had his whole like graphics card just explode on him one night when they were like trying to play, and he's like,
I do remember that.
Oh man, that stuff was insane. Love you, Chris DM. He was actually on the first ever like second podcast, and we made dumb skits and we just did it and we made it. But now it's like he'll probably be on this. He'll probably be on this season though, for sure. He'll probably come in.
He had a very memorable first set of 70. I do remember it. I think it was like a metal step set he did, or something like it, and everybody at the time that I can recall loved it. It was so. It was just because I remember Oni's the one that like found him vibing, I believe, at one time, and Oni brought him over, and dude just threw down this fire set. It was we were just like, yo, what the heck, dude? We were just getting into it. You know?
You're like,
it was a good time.
What the fuck?
Yeah, literally.
You know, just fucking like headbanging shit on the fucking DJ set too. Oh man, those were like crazy too. Every time I've seen everyone headbang and stuff, I'm like, bro, what are you using the headbang your foot on, like on your head? Like, I'm using my bed, I'm using my desk, I'm using my chair. Like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yes, baby. Yeah.
Trying to find.
Funny enough, in the original 70.1 world, if anyone ever checks it out, there's a photo of me and Deagle, me and my old Spartan, and him on this old stage we had, one of the first stages that Badlands put in, and we had our foot up on the stage or on the booth, like headbanging. At that time, I didn't have a prop up. I literally just one-footed it like up in the air. Like I role played as if I had my foot on something, and I was like 1 foot standing.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know how I did it. I kept my balance somehow, you know.
Oh my god!
And it's still
was
there
that
to this,
in
and
the back
it
where like without the dressing room?
Where all the photos? Yeah, where all the photos are, like in the back area where like the TV was and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god! I knew where the secret room was. Literally, I knew what the secret room was to get in.
Oh, man.
And then the booty thing on top of the thing.
Yeah, there was everyone's name.
Yeah, dude. That was so funny. So
good time.
So from how long ago was it? Like 2 years?
What, with them or just like in general?
Yeah, with that. Just in general with that, like going to 7D.
Oh yeah, I think ever since I found 7D at that point, after like Void Club and stuff, I was there like religiously. Like it was a whole new group of people to be around.
Oh, 100%. All the friends were there, dude. They
were
were
like over a year, dude.
Yeah,
couldn't get over rhythm
crazy.
for like a fat minute.
Fuck yeah, man, that's awesome.
Good times.
But now, like from what you're doing, from all these new DJ set with all these new DJ clubs, they're definitely getting better with like the whole very poor situation. And also, I mean, what's great about it is like now we're seeing less and less of crashers, but now we're seeing more of how VR chat needs to kind of be better at like now with like a lot of people crashing in like not crashing, I'm sorry. They set up a queue. They set up to where it's actually helpful for all of us to kind of be like in a queue and kind of, you know, whenever somebody else leaves, we would join, and some of the graphic settings to help us out if we don't have great PCs. You know, it's always good to have that kind of thing where all of us want to be part of something that we all can't be in, unless it's the graphics that will help us with everyone's avatar to kind of just like, you know, a lot of settings are here to really help us. But now, like from how they started to where we're at now, they've really done a number for a lot of the settings too to really help us with our avatars. Now is the number one thing is maybe it can be the world, but it can also be the avatars as well as that. This is what kind of keeps a lot of the, I guess, the clubs running is the avatars need to be in a good or better avatar because it would help out a majority of it. But it's been helping with a lot of us not crashing. You know, it's been helping us with a lot of trying to actually have a good DJ set without like having like any of the Twitch streams dying off. You know, I rarely see it now. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. And I think VRChat did a great job with the avatar calling. I will say
that stuff helps so much, dude.
Fairly well, and it does help. Especially making the security portion a bit easier, because I don't have to be as restrictive, because I can save. The problem is though, on the immersive side, you got to see a bunch of diamonds if you want to save your PC.
Like, oh man, no, I mean, if you're lagging and everyone else is if you're lagging and everyone else is having a good time, you just be like, hey buddy, you need like, I don't know if you need to do that anymore, but I mean, heck, now you can see it above their name.
Some places still do enforce it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's still just a blanket say, like clubs like Club Schism. They definitely do it. Shout out their staff over there. I catch them doing it all the time.
Oh yeah, man, they're awesome.
But also, I gotta give a special thanks to the one and only Tupper himself, because I love seeing him on Twitter talking about optimize your stuff. I see him like out there saying it. I'm like, love you, Tupper. That's my boy.
If everyone if everyone knew how to optimize their stuff in the beginning, but we all didn't know that. All of us kind of had had to put our foot into the door. But now we have so many people joining this community, and it's only going to grow bigger and better. And now it's like, I'm pretty sure everyone knew you as Almighty Surf, the security guard, to help us with a lot of these communities back in the day, to really know that you had the time and the effort to take the time to help out the communities and the DJ communities as well, to be part of something bigger, and to have that security always helps for everyone to know that we have someone that's actually caring for the community. So this has been awesome, bro. It's awesome to see that your goal is to help out everyone, and what your story is very unique for a lot of people that are here and people that can relate to this. Shout out my man, freaking Surf, dude. He's the man that gives all his support to everyone out there, bro. And like, if you were there from day one, bro, you would understand that what Surf is trying to do is a job that no one would do if they cared a lot to do this for everybody else, and they're here to be themselves. And honestly, give them a big hug whenever you see him next time, because this guy is definitely a big bear. I know a bear. I want to say like a hug bear, like someone that's unique in their own heart. Just because they're in a Spartan avatar doesn't mean you can talk with them. You can always talk with them and get a conversation, and they're just trying to do their job, but are also trying to be helpful and unique to everyone. So yeah, man, this is awesome, bro. So last question.
Yeah.
What would you say that I usually ask this for a lot of people in the DJ community, especially world creators and DJs. What would you say that could be probably somebody that out there you could tell them about how helpful they can be, or something that you've struggled in your lifetime that you could help them out? What would you say? Like, not just because of VR, but just in real life or whatever, whenever.
If you want to talk about a real life thing, just in general, like, this is just like off topic. This is just like something in general, like to take food for thought. Is this what this is?
Yeah. Okay. So say it this way. Castle, for example, said, "Don't ever mess up, or like, don't ever think about that you're gonna fail, because you're only failing to succeed even more." Or like, what else he said was, "Don't let yourself down," or like, something to bring your ego up.
Okay, well, I think no point in me saying something like that. Castle already covered it pretty well then.
I
think for me, this is going to be I'm going to take it on a personal aspect. I'm sure it relates to or resonates with a bunch of other people. If something is truly bothering you, do not overthink it. If there's somebody you can talk to, reach out to them. I've struggled with that plenty of times myself, and I've blown things beyond out of proportion, and it only makes things worse. That it's, at the end of the day, if there's a problem you have with somebody or something, or something's really bothering you, it doesn't hurt to reach out to a friend, and it doesn't hurt to be that friend to reach out, because at the end of the day,
right,
even if you're not the one having a problem, if someone comes to you and they have an issue and you're that voice for that evening for them, you'll probably make them feel 10 times better. But if you also have a problem with someone or something, don't put it under, don't try to, let it sit there and simmer.
Always speak your mind.
It's just going to blow up in your face.
Right. And
in a respectful way.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially in this game, dude, like, this is a social platform that you could talk with many people. Don't open your gates to a lot of people, find the people that you actually trust and give them your worth and time, because you know, well, I don't know if you know this, but everyone here has a unique heart, and some people out there are bad, but some people I've met in here are way better than the people out in real life. Sometimes can be a harshful moment, but that's why we're in here, to socialize and understand that this is a game where you can vibe and have a good time with your homies and probably get to know someone that might be your best friend at the end of the day. So you never know, or something more. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. My boy Surf came into the mix and came to become the man's, what we all know, that is the god of surf. So appreciate you, dude. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully you have a good day, bro. Everyone out there must know that this guy, please give him much love and appreciation, that this guy took his time to give all you guys, you know, maybe you weren't there at the start, but he was always here to give everybody the moment of gratitude that this guy gave so much support for all the fucking clubs out there, bro. Give this guy some love, and honestly, maybe listen to him once in a while, because he will give you some good advice. So catch you guys
occasionally,
later.
Maybe. Bye bye. Have you been on a very board this whole time still? What the?
Bye. I'll see you guys later.